Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Unconscious Communication Secrets with myself, Muneer Al-Busaidi. And today I want to talk about so a lot of people come to me and ask me, how did I get into unconscious communication? How did I get into NLP? And the reality is my story was one of a bit of struggle. Like it was going through a bit of a hard time. It was not an easy one. It wasn't because I just sort of said, hey, you know what, why not? It was because at one point in time I went through a very, very tough time. So I wanted to tell you guys that story because I discovered how important, like literally how one bit of communication can literally alter the whole direction of your life. So if you'd been with me in about 2005, I was living in Bahrain and I was a management trainee. I was working at Gulf Air, and this was the start of my career. So I was brand new. I was a management trainee. And as a management trainee of the airline, we had to work in all these different departments over a couple of years. So one of the days I was sitting in the training center academy at the Gulf Air headquarters. And what happened is, you can imagine like a classroom, you could hear the buzz of the noise, all the students chatting. And then all of a sudden, our training manager, Fauzi, he runs into the room and he's quite excited. And he says, guys, I have a really special announcement. Like, you know how all of you've been working for a couple of years, you've done your rotations in all these different departments. And finally, it's time for you to go into one of the departments. They're about to select you so that you can work in one of the departments for the rest of your career. Now, rather than us pick it for you, the CEO actually wants to give you an opportunity so that you can request where it is that you want to work. This is an amazing opportunity, guys. Like you are going to be able to ask for the career of your choice. You get, like, people don't get this opportunity. So take it seriously, go for it. So I get very excited when I hear this because I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. But at the same time, I was nervous as hell because you see, like when I was growing up, I was not the most confident of people, right? So I was very unsure of myself growing up. I felt very awkward, and I was not very good at presenting. But this was a career opportunity of a lifetime. Now, at the time, like Bahrain and Gulf Air, they just started hosting Formula One. And because they were hosting Formula One, they were going around the world, they were promoting these events, and they had these like really extravagant events, like some amazing people would come to these events and they'd promote Formula One. I was like, I want to be in that department. Like, can you imagine being paid to travel around the world to like celebrate with some of the most amazing people all over the world? Because that's essentially what this department was doing, and I wanted to work with them. Like, I was like, this is where I want to work. So I said, you know what, I've got to suck it up, and make it happen. So I started looking into it. I started preparing a presentation, and I was like, maybe I need a bit of help. So I went to some friends that worked in marketing, and I said, guys, I've got this thing coming up. I really want to impress. Can you help me out? And they said, okay, yeah, sure. And they helped me prepare this. They took my slides and they made them into brochures so that I could impress the CEO and the executives. And then they went, okay, cool. And then they said, you know what, why don't you talk to this person? They're an amazing copywriter. So I went to this person and they were like, okay, let's change your speech up. And they wrote this thing for me. And I was like, okay, great. So there I am. I have this amazing speech. I have all the right things to say. I have these amazing brochures that I can start to hand out. And what happens is I go to this classroom. So the day comes and I'm in the boardroom. And I'm standing there. You can imagine this, like this big boardroom, like lush carpets, like, etc. And all the CEOs are kind of sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I am nervous as hell. I don't know. You see these cartoons where your heart is like do 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 do. And my throat starts to go dry, my stomach starts to churn, and then the CEO calls me and he says, Muneer, and I go up to the front. I hand out those amazing brochures that I prepared, and I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Oh. And I'm like breathing, and he goes, okay, start. Now the brochures initially, when they start looking at them, he's kind of impressed, but then I start talking. And I say, hi, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you. Thank you for having me. And literally, the CEO's like smile looking at my brochures, just goes. And then slowly but surely, he tries to pay attention, and then just slowly but surely, just like starts to lift his phone, and he starts playing around with his phone, etc. I'd lost him, but I started reading from my paper and I read all the right things. Like in theory, this should have worked because I said all the right things. But this is the day that I learned, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Let me repeat that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so that day I realized that the power of communication, because right after that, I had just finished telling the CEO, I just finished saying to him, you know what, you should, I didn't say it like this, but I said, you should let me work in this department and travel around the world and throw these great events because I would be amazing for this department. And that department wanted me too. It was like a match made in heaven. But I messed it up so badly that the CEO didn't pay attention to a word I said. And guess what? What came and bit me in my ass? Those brochures that I made. Because literally when I stopped talking, the CEO just went, and looked up and went, yeah, Muneer, he hadn't heard a word I said. And then he just looks down at the brochure and he goes, yeah, Muneer, you should go in marketing. In fact, Muneer, you're going in marketing. And just like that, because I was not able to communicate effectively, in a split decision, the trajectory of my life changed dramatically. Just like that. And that's why I say, your communication, you are one communication away from truly transforming your life. So I beat myself, for 3 weeks, I was beating myself up over this. I had messed up so badly, and I couldn't believe it. So I was on the couch for 3 weeks beating myself up over this. And then, as if by chance, I remembered that there was a book that I'd read a while ago, and it was about a guy that was helping geeks that had low confidence, low self-esteem, that weren't able to communicate effectively. And I remembered reading something about it. So I went and I grabbed the book, and I looked at it again, and it talked about something called NLP. And he talked about something called the subconscious mind. And he talked about how if you tap into it, you can create amazing changes for yourself and for others. And you can, he was helping geeks to tap into their subconscious mind so that they could create confidence, so that they could then go and approach people, so that they could do a whole bunch of things. And he taught them how to confidently make a great impression, connect with people, and basically convert people. So I wanted to know more, and I went and I started traveling around the world. First of all, I started learning NLP directly from one of the co-creators, Dr. Richard Bandler. But then, and I realized that literally everything that you want, everything relies on our mind, right? whether you're talking about your career, whether you're talking about your health, if your career, if you are able to tap into your own performance and you're able to influence and persuade others because you understand how you think and how other people think, that's going to improve your career. It's going to improve your health. It's going to improve your finances. It's going to improve the amount that you contribute. It's going to improve your relationships with your friends, your happiness, your family life. So I started to realize that everything kind of relies on the mind. And so that's how I started applying, and I started getting results. And the more results that I got, sometimes people would come and ask me more and more. And that's how I started getting into a little bit of coaching, etc. And that's essentially my journey of how I got into NLP and where it's taken me to now. So from not being able to speak at all to now speaking live daily, for example. And testing new techniques out and testing things out, like new styles. But hopefully, and I tell this story to you not because I want to share with you I share the story with you because I want you to see that if I can do it, I know that you can too. I know that anybody can transform the way that they communicate, transform their confidence at the very least. And so that's my story for today. I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed that story, and I truly appreciate you all for tuning in. And I will catch you on another video very, very, very soon. So thank you guys, appreciate it. Oh, by the way, if anyone's interested, I am having an webinar on NLP this evening, uaenlp.com. Do check it out. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Lots of love. And I will see you on another video